All right, so let's get started. This is Blender 293, and not much have changed with Grease Pencil, so let's get started. So if you click 2D animation right here at the splash screen, you'll start the Grease Pencil portion of Blender. Okay, you can also go to File, New, and then 2D animation, and you'll get the same result in case you click anywhere and the splash screen disappeared. All right, so there are tools that we can enable with Grease Pencil to simplify things, but for now let's just kind of treat it like this is the first time you're using it, and we're gonna try everything with just the basics. Okay, so here on the right side you will see three icons. One is a magnifying lens for zooming, one is the hand or the pan tool, okay, and the other one is to toggle between work view and recording view with the camera. So by default, you're looking at what the camera will be recording. So if you click and drag the magnifying tool, hold the mouse and then drag it, you will see that you can zoom in and out of the recording camera. You can also scroll your mouse. If you have a mouse scroll, it will do the same thing. The hand tool, if you click and drag it, allows you to pan the recording camera. Okay. Keyboards for this shortcut would be if you click and hold down Shift and middle click drag, you will see the same result with the pan tool. And if you hold down Control and middle click drag, you will get the zoom as well. So those are the options. So let me turn on the sidebar by pressing N, and let me turn on my my UV shortcut here so you get to see what I'm pressing over here with a screencast. Again, Shift plus middle click drag, you get pan. Control plus middle click drag, sorry, you get your zoom, or you can do mouse scroll zoom, or you can use the icons right here. The keyboard shortcut for the camera view and the work view, I'm going to click on the camera view right here. Okay, so it kind of, I'm going to middle click drag my mouse so I can rotate. You can see right here, this is the working camera, and if I press that camera again, it goes back to the recording camera. Okay, when you're working in 2D animation and you're just drawing on a flat plane, you want to be in the recording camera. The working camera you want when you're compositing, or when you're doing your parallax, or you're spacing out your Grease Pencil objects. Okay, so I'm going to click that again. We're always going to be here exclusive. If you have a numpad, however, you press 0 on the numpad, that will do the keyboard shortcut pressing that. Okay, so if we're looking at the Grease Pencil object, let's look at our outliner in the upper right corner right here. You will see that the name of the Grease Pencil object, it's called stroke if you just start a 2D animation. Okay, when you start a 2D animation, you get, if we go here to material, you get pre-made 4 materials for colors, and then if we go here, this icon looks like a squiggly line. This is your Grease Pencil layer information. Okay, so you get 2 layers to begin with. All right, so what we're trying to do is to recreate this photo right here. Homer, there we go. And we're gonna do this very basic, so meaning we will create color palettes for all this, even though it's a shadow and a highlight, right? Normally this would be a mask that you would want to just kind of recreate by turning the opacity of the shadow, and then you'll get this portion right here, and then the highlight, but we're just going to draw all this so that we'll learn all the tools in Grease Pencil. What I'm saying is there's better way and easier way to do this once you are familiar with Grease Pencil, but for now we're learning the interface and the tools, so we're going to do everything manually. Okay, all right, so going back into Blender Grease Pencil, like I said, the stroke is an object. Okay, so let's show you this by, I'm going to draw something here, and then we'll talk about how to enable all these tools, so on and so forth. It's going to quickly, so here I'm in the lines layer. Okay, so within the same Grease Pencil object, you can have as multiple layers as you want. So let's say lines, we're going to treat this as our foreground. Okay, and then we can have the fills layer, okay, as your background. Okay, meaning whatever's on top basically is the top layer. It's what's in front of the camera, and then whatever's below is the back layer. Okay, so if I quickly, let's say, gave this a fill color, which is that one, so you can see, since this lines layer right here is in front, it's oops, let's see right here, and, oh yeah, that one's open, that's why. Let me close that real quick. Nope. There we go. All right, so this one is on top right here. Okay, so if I go showing you this, that's the one in the back, that's the one up front. All right, so that's just a single stroke object. So if I add, let's say, another object here, so I'm going to go to object mode first, switch mode. I'm going to add another object, grease pencil. Let's put a stroke right there. As you can see, you'll see now a stroke and another stroke. So on top, this particular one is separate from the previous stroke right here. So this is another grease pencil object. So whenever you're doing complex animation and whatnot, and you're going to have multiple of these, and this is when we go into our camera mode, and then you can then start kind of separating their location. Hence, ones will be a true foreground and a true background. So this is now, in a way, layering. If I press 0 right there, layering per object. So this one is not residing in the same environment as that one. It's its own. Okay, so that's what's going to happen to those. So let me go back here, new and 2D animation. Okay, just to kind of give you an overview that you don't need to make 100 layers per one stroke to do your animation. You can have multiple strokes. Okay, so the other reason why we showed you what I showed you, stroke versus single stroke or multiple, because everything here is just an object in Blender. So if I go to my pencil right here, I'm sorry, the draw mode right here, right? See, the draw mode right here, you can change to edit or object mode or any other mode, right? However, you will only see draw mode if you have the stroke selected. So let's say we bring in, we go to object mode and we bring in a cube, add mesh cube. Okay, now there's a cube in the scene. If you look at it, there it is. Press 0 to go back. Okay, let me turn on my screencast. Okay, so now I have cube and stroke here in my collection. So if I go to the drop down of object mode, as you can see, draw mode is missing. Okay, because I have a regular object selected. So only when you select stroke right here will you see draw mode. So remember that. So if it's probably killing you that you can never go back to the draw mode, it's probably because you don't have a grease pencil object selected. Okay, so let me select cube right there, press delete, get rid of it. Okay, the reason why we need to do this is we're going to bring in an image, right? So I'm in object mode, even though I have the stroke selected. So as you can see, none of my brush are showing here. Only when I switch to draw mode, where all the regular things kind of show up, right? So I'm going to go to object mode first, and then I'm going to click add right here, and we're going to bring in an image, a reference image. Okay, so when you do that, we'll ask you, hey, what do you want to bring in? That photo that you want to recreate. So for our purpose right here, it will be Homer Simpson right there. Okay, and you can load any reference image you want. Okay, you can just Google and then you save it as a JPEG or PNG, then you're safe to put it here. All right, right here, we're not maximizing the screen. Okay, so we do want to scale Homer right here so that it gets kind of like maximum space. So while the empty is selected, So when I click add image reference, it became an empty object, right? We could rename that, like we can call it Homer reference image, but we'll just leave it as empty for now. When you have the empty selected, go to this tab right here. Okay, this tab right here is the empty, and as you can see right here, we do have opacity for it and a size. So if I click and drag my mouse here, just kind of drag this until you're just right there. Okay, look, we're just kind of barely out. We're just gonna basically draw on top of this one. Okay, and another thing we need to do while we're here is click on opacity and tone it down. So the reason for that is, well, not yet. We still got to get the color first. Sorry, but later on we're gonna do this so that when we draw on top, we actually see our lines and it doesn't match it exactly. Okay, but for now, not yet. All right, so now let's go to our grease pencil. So select your stroke right here in the outliner. And we're back here where it says object mode, we go to draw. When you go to draw, you have access for all your materials now, okay? So if you watch the previous lessons, we do have how to add materials and color in grease pencil. This time we're just going to use the vertex color. So you see two options right here. It's like a ball, and the other one is this node icon right there, okay? So paint mode, all right, for material, and then vertex color. Okay, so let's switch to vertex color. So, and there's an explanation on the previous video what's the difference between the two. Basically, vertex color is you select whatever color, but you can't change the color and affect your drawing. Materials, you can. So there's a difference between those, okay? However, with vertex color, it's pretty fast. It's ready to go. So what we need to do is build up first our color palette. Every color that we're going to use here, we're going to create them first so that later on when we do our fills, we just drop them in there. Okay, so first things first is that we're going to go to the very top right here. Okay, the very top one. Okay, that will give us access to the grease pencil, brush, and colors. Remember, this icon right here is for the layers. This one is for the material. Okay, so we're going to go back to the very top. Okay, and then what we do here is that we simply select the color right here, and then there's an eyedropper. So for this one, let's make this super simple. We're going to go with the basic colors first, not highlights or shadow. Okay, so I'm going to click the eyedropper, and I'm going to click on the yellow of Homer. Okay, so it picked the color right here, and then all you have to do is click the plus sign, and you get the color right here. Okay, so now we click this again, eyedropper. Let's get the white. Well, it's, you know, let's just add in there. I know there's white already in there, but let's just add this white. All right, there it is. So click the plus sign here. We got the white, very similar to this one. Okay, let's add another one, which is the background. There's that, and click the plus sign right here. So we got Homer's skin, shirt color, and eye color, the background. Okay, and now let's add a few more. Let's get the skin shadow. There it is. Click the plus sign. Let's get the skin highlights. Let's kind of put those together. There it is. Click the plus sign. So skin shadow, skin highlight. Okay, we have it on both right there. And then let's get the shirt shadow. Click the plus sign. There's a shirt shadow. And then finally the background shadow. All right, and then click the plus. So we got all our colors. So Homer skin, shirt, background, skin shadow, skin highlights, shirt shadow, background shadow. All right, so and then we're good to go here. Let's go back to our empty, which is the background. Okay, right there. And let's go to object mode here first. Sorry, go to object mode, select the empty, go to the empty tab right here. Opacity, let's just kind of lower that a little bit so that we could see our lines when we draw. Okay, so now it's time to select the stroke. Go to draw mode, and we're ready to draw. Okay, we're also drawing just the lines first, and then this will be our fills layer, and then we need right in between right here will be the shadow highlight. So let's add another layer. Okay, let's rename this. This is shadow highlight layer. So that's where we're going to draw all these parts right here. Fill in would be the solid colors. Okay, so let's get started with lines, the top of the layer. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to change my pen from pencil to ink. I'm not sure if the radius that is the default, which is 60, would kind of match, but all right, there it is. It's kind of close. Okay, so I'm going to click undo. All right, so let's pick our vertex color. So I'm going to go, I'm on the lines layer. I'm going to go very top one right there. Let's select black as our color. Okay, I'm going to double click it so it's now black, so that when I draw my outline, it works, right? So let me click undo. I'm going to be using this to zoom in. So I want to be a little precise with my drawing. Use the pen tool right there, or the hand tool. Zoom that a bit. So I'm going to start with the hand right here, or the arm. All right, so I'm in 100% strength, ink pen, radius of 60. It's kind of matching it. All right, so I'm going to draw here. Okay, and I'm going to do this in real time, so you guys, you get bored, you just fast forward. Okay, you just simply go fast forward and or increase the playback. All right, it's kind of hard to draw and talk at the same time, so I'll try my best right here to keep you guys not too super bored, but I'll be doing this in real time. So, and I'm closing all the lines so that when we do our fill line, we can actually get a solid oops, what did I do here? Oh, there you go. I was pressing a keyboard and the pen. Okay, and you don't have to do a straight line uninterrupted, but it'll be cool if you can actually do that. Okay, and you can change the stroke size later on if you want. It is universal though, so you end up changing everything for all your outlines. Okay, so if you do multiple stroke, then you can control it differently, right? So now I'm just going to start, not in any particular order. All right, just kind of doing all my lines, and I'm closing all the outlines here so that when I do my fill brush, everything is kind of connected. So meaning it's a close outline. When I do the fill brush, it will fill it in without leaking any paint outside the area that I need to fill in. And I'm in a line layer. Okay, and that's just kind of like the default name for it. I mean, you can change that to outline or drawing line, you know, not too precise right there, but that's fine. We're just kind of demoing this. Okay, like I said, you can fast forward the playback and you can see all this. Yeah, zoom out here a bit. All right, and then I'm going to go outside like so. And I'm going to, this is not going to be captured, but I do want to close that so that when I fill in the shirt, it will do the whole thing. All right, almost done here. Okay, I'm going to pan down. All right. Okay, as you can see, I'm going over that. It doesn't matter because it's all not in the recording camera. I'm putting those, however, so that I can just kind of be more natural with the stroke. Okay. If Homer had perfect round eyes, we could also use shapes right here. Okay, there's a circle, so there's plenty of choices in grease pencil. You want to be very precise for, let's say, motion graphics, or you want to get the hand-drawn feel and look, then you do what I'm doing right here. Okay, and if you don't have a pen, you're using a mouse, go watch the previous video. When I'm demoing with a Huion pen, you can use curve tools, or you can then fix your lines using the sculpt tool, or smooth your outlines. Okay, just kind of connect that better. All right. Okay, so the outline's done. Okay, let me probably fix that here so that Homer doesn't have like a lump in there. Okay, so all the outlines done, so let's go with the fill color. So I will go here to this tab, which is the grease pencil layer tab. Let's go to fills, right there. Okay, and now we're going to change our material to fill, right? So right now we've been using the pen, ink pen, solid stroke. Okay, and we're using the black color here. Remember, this is where they are. So I'm in the fills layer. I'm going to go to the first one right here so that we could see all our colors that we pre-made, right? Or preset. Okay, so now let me add another stroke here. Lines right there before I change. So I'm just going to, for our background, because you can just change your background to any color, but this one, let's kind of make it like we have a rectangle right here to drive the point more about the tools and whatnot. So I'm going to fill that up with the background. Okay, so it can be a different layer later on. So let's go to fills right there. Okay, and I'm going to, let's say, go to our first tab right here so that we can select the colors. All right, I'm going to change my brush to the bucket or the fill brush. I'm going to change the material from solid stroke to solid fill. All right, there it is. And then we pick the color right here. So let's say the background, I'm going to click the blue one, double click it. When I click anywhere here, change the entire thing to blue. Remember, we're in fills layer. Okay, next let's select Homer skin right there. So anything with Homer. Oh, by the way, let me just make sure here. Okay, we forgot to get Homer's beard right here. So that's a major boo-boo. I forgot. Object, go to empty and turn on my opacity. Go to stroke. Let me turn on stroke right here. Go to draw mode. Okay, and then I'm gonna go add that one. So let me hide our stroke first with the visibility right there. Okay, and I'm just gonna go here, select this one right here. So I'm pretty sure we have not added that. There it is. So that's the part right there, and then the beard shadow. Let's add that too, just in case. Or the 5 o'clock shadow. Let me click it again. I don't think I got it. All right, there it is. Click the plus. Sorry about that, forgot those two. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on my stroke, and I'm back to draw right here. So let us add that, which I already did because it was the last selection. So let me change the color. Okay, fill brush, solid fill, that color. There it is. Okay, let's go back to our yellow right here. So on that one. Okay, and then what else? This one right here. All right, and that one right there. Let's go to white and the shirt and the color. Okay, let's select black. Let's drop the eye. Okay, so there it is, without any highlights or shadow. If that's all you're after, we're kind of done on that part. Okay, all right, so now let's do the shadow and highlight, and make sure we're in the shadow and highlight layer. Okay, we go to the very first tab right here, so we have access to our colors right there. Okay, and then remember, this is the skin highlight shadow. That's the skin highlight. This is the shirt shadow. This is the background shadow, and then that's the 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, and so we go to our let's go back to our grease pencil layer. I'm going to hide the fills yet so that we could see the drawing underneath. Okay, so there's the eye icon right here for visibility. I'm gonna click that so that it reveals just the outline. Remember, there's the outline right there. Okay, and then we're in the shadow and highlight so that we could actually see what we're painting. Okay, so we're in the shadow and highlight. I'm gonna go here to the color. We're gonna be using our draw brush. Okay, so this, remember, that's our draw brush right there. I'm gonna click undo. Okay, and then instead of using solid stroke, we're gonna use solid fill. All right, what's going to happen is that you can draw solid shapes like so. Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing with this, since the shadow and highlight layer is behind the outline, so that whatever we draw right here gets drawn as part of the back, right? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So it's very important now that we're in ink pen, in the draw brush, solid fill, and then we're selecting color for whatever we need. So remember, this one right here is the skin shadow. So I'm going to select the skin shadow. All right, so what I'll do here is I'm going to draw it like so. You're probably not seeing it, but it'll grow right there. Oh, let me click undo. I messed that up. Okay, and then I'm going to trace it back along the outline and close it like so, and there's the shadow. Okay, so I'll do the exact same thing here. So this might bore a lot of people because we're doing it in real time, so simply increase the playback here, and yeah. All right, so the technique also is try to draw on the curve where you could see it, because if you drew this on the other side, it will take over. So always draw on the outline last. Okay, so let's gonna do it here real quick. So do that first and then close it. Okay, Of course there's other ways to do this. Traditionally we use masking for this actually. Okay, but this is just so that we can explore all the grease pencil tools. And you can abandon the stroke, kind of messed up there a bit, so you can add another one. Okay, you can draw on top. You'll draw it. Okay, where else? Right here. Again, we're drawing this underneath the line or the stroke layer, so that's why it's stuck under the and then I can just go like that too, so that it fills that, and then I can just continue, because sometimes it's too hard when you're doing huge strokes. Yeah, and let's say you need to let go, just close the shape real quick, and then you can just pick it up from there. So kind of like right here. Then I'm just gonna go right there. All right, there it is. So all the skin, I think it's done. Now let's do the highlight. So this is the next color. So I'll just do the highlight here real quick. Okay, you might find it easier to do this on a smaller area where you're not zoomed in as tight as I am. Okay, you can go smaller like that. So totally up to you. All right, so that's the highlight for the skin. Oh, there's one more, I think, right here. Let's just kind of, yeah, I don't think I did it here, so let me just get that real quick. Okay, and a little bit right here. All right, now let's do the shirt highlight. So let me pan, oops, press 0. Use the hand tool right here. Okay, so I can see all the, okay, so shirt, shadow, sorry, not highlight. Okay. All right. I think that's that. What else? The shadow, 5 o'clock shadow. 5 o'clock shadow. All right, and then I think there's a little bit here. Okay, yo, that mount, yeah. And just the background shadow. So I'm just gonna go like so. It's gonna, actually you can go, oops. That's what I may click and do on that one. That's my fault. Okay, let me start with the outline here because it's a lot easier to see. Oh, undo. Let me make sure I have the correct color, because when I click undo, it did it the other way. Let's kind of just fill in all those missing areas. Okay, because it'll just kind of take over on the top. All right, right here, let me just all right, we can draw that one probably. Okay. All right, right here. Okay. That color, let me switch to a stroke right here so we can, there you go. And then I think that's everything. So let me turn back the layer now. Turn off the empty. All right, so this is all grease pencil now, and it's all done right there. So recording camera. So when we want to save this as a PNG or as a JPEG, I just want to kind of really quickly show you edit mode right here. That everything here is, it's a vector, so all those things are points. So you can see the multiple strokes that I did right here to fill in all the, okay, it just looks like it's painted like a raster, but it's actually all vector. All right, so there's our Homer Simpson. So let's render this now. So to do that is to go to render right here, and you want to render an image. Okay, and make sure you're on frame 1 the entire time, right? Because if this is an animation program, if you move this timeline accidentally, then you'll be drawing multiple parts across the timeline. So make sure you're in frame 1. You go to render, render image. Okay, done. Okay, now we need to save it. Image, save a copy, and for your submission for your homework, only PNG or JPEG is allowed, right? So I'm gonna use a PNG right here. So I'm gonna save it on the pictures folder. Okay, and let's call it a Homer GP. Okay, and it's a PNG. All right, so when I save as image right here, this image now is now saved. So let me check it real quick. I put it on pictures. There it is, Homer PG. Okay, you can tell that, you know, I'm not really too smooth on my lines right here, but if I guess no one told you, you would think this is actually done. There was the original image, which is kind of sloppy on this one. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed this project, and this is your project 02, and that's it. Thanks for watching.